Now, what is it that I have really found? What is it that I am really wanting to share? The thing is that we have we are composed of three layers. There is a layer of physicality, our hands, our eyes, the whole physical body, including the brain. The brain is also physical. You can go and see it. Then there is metaphysical, the mind. I know we do not confuse mind and brain together because they are not. Brain is physical, mind is metaphysical, which is not physical. What is metaphysical? We should search, but it is definitely not physical. It is beyond physical. And then comes, in some time we'll talk about metaphysical in detail, but anyway, right now. And then there is a third layer that is of the spiritual kind. That's where a lot of minds and a lot of people, probably especially the Western mind, may seem to pause or think twice whether so or not. But let's be with it for a minute. One of the problems that we face is we know what to do, but we are not able to do it. I know what I know to do, I'm not able to do. That is one of the critical issue that comes up. So first of all, the knowing that we say happens in the metaphysical space of mind. That's where all the knowing is residing in the form of thoughts, emotions, feelings, in the metaphysical content. That's where it is. But is the knowing happening in the mind alone? That might not be very accurate. Maybe it is happening in a different space, another space. But it seems to occur in the metaphysical space of mind. The doing is when the karmendriyas, the action limbs move, the speech moves, or the hands moves, or the legs move. That's when a physical change happens. And when they move specifically, this is speech, if moving in a certain musical way, it can sing all these things beautifully. But it is doing in this way because this is exactly where it is able to move. These hands, they can create a beautiful iPhone also, they can create a pottery also, and they can create all the dirt also all around. It's possible by the same hands. So there is a factor how these limbs are moving being controlled. But the thing is, all their movement is controlled by the neural patterns in the brain, physical. So a physical neural patterns here, where in the brain, the way that it is organized, those are the things that move our limbs. So what action is when the physicality is moving, when the hands are moving. The knowing is whatever is held in the metaphysical space. So there is a transition. There is a transition from a metaphysical space, a space of one kind, with certain rules of its own, and then the physicality, the rules of its own. The neural patterns are akin to the chips that you have, where the transistors are organized in a certain way. And then the moment you connect that chip with the physical machines, those machines move. Same here. So this ability to convert whatever is in the mind, in the metaphysical space, to the chips in the brain, that is the neural patterns, that is a totally specific thing. Another thing why that does not happen so easily is that mind, if you see, it is like a tree. It has so many branches. It has so many of the uh, leaves. Or it is like a chariot, a horse, a couple of horses together in a chariot. Now they are not running automatically. There is somebody, there has to be a charioteer which has to run, a self which has to run it. This running of the mind in a certain direction, the charioteer who runs it is the one that we call as the sense of self, the self. What happens is this self, now the mind has needs that self all the time, and to meet its need of having a self, it creates a self on its own. It takes your permission and creates. It's not a very legible permission, but it does take, in a very subtle and covert way, it takes it, and you say yes to it, and those are the means that it uses to run the mind. We call them egos also, and they get made, and there are multiple number of those egos. So when you are moving out to do one thing, one ego is running the show. Suddenly something happens in the event, and some other emotions get triggers, some other inputs, some other thoughts come up, and a relevant ego for that kind of a conversation comes up, and that starts running the show. And that's how different egos run the show. So mind is being run by different selves throughout the day. And when that's happening, it's not going in one direction, it is going in the direction of that ego. One wants to impress people, so that ego is playing differently to the different crowd. One is greedy, so it is playing differently. One is a glut, is looking at the things differently. So many egos, mind runs in so many directions. There is no conversion of what you really want. That's not coming to the fore, and it's not happening. So really is the word. What you really want means who you really are, and that is that. When that who you really are drives the mind, that's when it runs in a single direction. And when it runs in a single direction, the mind, that's when the patterns that you need for what you know to do, those become possible. There are mechanisms to it, like there is a mechanism to write a circuit on a silicon chip. Same way, there are mechanisms to write the mind's thought on the neural patterns in a way that they act. And that's how that happens. So, when we are paused by the questions of life, our existing habits, our existing neural patterns are not able to serve us enough. There is a complete journey backward which mind refuses to take on its own, which when you keep on insisting, you go across those obstacles of the mind. But if you have tools by which you can drill, by which you can drill fast, by which you can drill accurately, correctly, and fast, then your journey becomes easier. That's the value of the tools. What You travel on the foot, and what you travel on the bullock cart, and you travel in a car and a train and in a plane and a jet, everything alters the speed and how quickly you reach. So you go to turn back. There is a lot that stops, but then you go to find where your true self is, and then that true self has to take charge. It does not end at true self discovery. You got to take that, got to take charge, which is a battle in itself. And then you taking charge, you come back and you do things for the right reasons, which are fulfilling reasons, and that's how you achieve it.